can you tell us about what's happening at the moment at that Security Council meeting?
Well, the words of the Secretary General were actually echoed by many of the representatives, the ambassadors who spoke after him during that Security Council. Most of them really reiterating those words and that worry, the worry about the humanitarian situation and the worry about human rights and how, according to them, the Taliban were already violating human rights, especially those of women and girls. And you had representative after representative calling on the UN, calling on all the countries to do everything in their power to protect those Afghans still in the country, to protect civilians and especially women and young girls, to protect their rights. So that was one of the main concerns of this Emergency Security Council. The other concern that the Secretary General mentioned, as well as some other representatives, is the question of Afghanistan becoming once again a base, a safe haven for a terrorist. And that was something that the Secretary General touched upon. He said we have to do everything we can to avoid Afghanistan becoming once again that safe haven for terrorists. So you see really two main concerns for that group, the question of how civilians will be treated by the Taliban in Afghanistan and how Afghanistan is going to possibly become once again a safe haven for terrorists in the years to come.
Kethevane, we've heard just a short while ago that the US President Joe Biden is to speak within the coming hours on the situation in Afghanistan. But until now, there's been a notable silence from the White House, hasn't there?
Yes, and this return of Joe Biden to Washington, because he is currently in Camp David, is something that was decided just now, because just a few hours ago, the White House was still saying that there was no change to the president's schedule. And you saw really the president coming under fire for not being in Washington, for not speaking about the situation in Afghanistan. And so we are going to hear from the U.S. president later on this afternoon here in D.C. But really, the position of the White House, of Joe Biden's team, has been to defend the decision, to reiterate that it was the right call to get those troops out, even though the situation is unraveling in Afghanistan. We'll see what the president has to say about this decision.
Kethevane Gorjestani in Washington, thank you very much indeed.